Hi, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Spine Chill. This is season 29. What is with you guys?
I don't know. Doug's doing a face, so I started doing one.
I just carried over my face from the pre-show conversation. Things that were said prior to pressing record were unholy. Go on, John. Sorry. Bring us in.
For our audio-only listeners, they were making a face, and it distracted me. But
yes. Thanks, Doug.
Thanks, Gary.
There's more faces. So, yes, welcome to season 29 of Spine Chill. Hey. Finger guns noises. Like to welcome myself, John Wolfe. Welcome to the podcast.
Welcome, John.
Thank you so much. I'm proud to be here as a co-host. I'd like to welcome our other co-host, Gary, the Hot Cross.
I'm very proud to be here as well. It's a joy. Thank you for inviting me back on.
No problem. Now, we'd also like to recognize our 30-time recurring guest, Doug Runningman. Thank you so much for joining us once again.
Well, you know what? I will welcome myself since you didn't officially welcome me. Welcome back me.
Welcome.
Thank you again for the invite.
Well, I said we would like to recognize you.
Yeah.
It's the same
Recognizing
thing.
isn't the same as welcoming. I mean, welcoming feels more welcoming, and recognizing is like, yeah, he's here again.
All right then. All right.
I feel like
We'll just redo it. We would like to welcome our 30-time recurring guest, John.
What? Jughead? Like, what did you call me? Like,
I was about to say John.
Jughead?
I was like, I couldn't even welcome you properly.
Junning Man. We'd like to welcome Junning Man to the podcast.
Oh, this is going well. Best start yet.
Nailed it first try. Yeah.
It goes about as well as it always does. Yeah. Anyway, we have a jam-packed episode for you guys today. We've got some DVD talk. We've got some VHS news.
Oh, big news. Big news.
Big news for VHS. You're not going to want to miss it. We're going to talk about Evil Dead. We're going to talk about last year, the recently revived last year. Puppet Master has a roadmap.
It does indeed.
And is there anything I missed?
And Propnight.
Propnight.
Easily forgotten about, but it's still there.
Yeah.
Had a nice little update.
Propnight with a rare announced update. Like, it wasn't a surprise update. They announced it weeks in advance. Like, we're releasing this update. They did.
I just opened up Steam today and it just went, we've updated.
No, I told you both when it happened. I can probably pull the DMs where I told you. I was like, guys, look, they announced an update.
Oh, Doug's got the receipts.
Oh.
I do have receipts, Gary.
We can't just talk out our ass like we normally do.
May 2nd, they announced that they'd be releasing an update on May 12th. So Propnight, clearly listening to the podcast and knowing, hey, the people are asking.
If you are listening to the podcast, Propnight, let us know. Leave us a comment.
Yeah.
Say hi.
We have nice things to say.
Yeah.
We're the number one asymmetrical horror podcast.
And number one DVD podcast, right?
Yeah.
And number one Evil Dead podcast.
Yeah. And number one Last Year
podcast. Number one Propnight podcast.
Oh, in fairness, we're the only VHS podcast.
Yeah.
What's VHS?
Well, we can talk about that now if you'd like. We can jump straight into the big VHS news.
The meat? The meat of the episode?
I think
we've got a lot of meat.
Right?
We've got a lot of meat. We have a lot of meat to deal with today. And Doug, I know how you love meat, so
it's all I eat. Literally.
No, VHS, this is our headliner news. I'm very excited to get into it. We're gonna be talking about it for a long time, I think. So
so VHS has put out a post. They added everyone in the Discord server to give an update on what was going on with the game, because they've been a little silent lately. Would you like me to just read it so that you guys can digest it? And
yeah, I haven't actually heard it yet, so this will be great.
Okay, I'm ready for this. Right. Happy springtime, everyone, and apologies for the recent lack of updates. We know some of you have been wondering if we have accidentally trapped ourselves in the beyond for good. But in
Classic.
But in fact, we are still hard at work here at Hellbent. We had a very busy March with the Anomaly release and our VH Extravaganza community event. Doug, what was that? Any idea?
Yeah, it was like you collect eggs. And
okay.
Eggs, you get a skin.
Okay.
It was like an in-game event where you get cosmetics and items.
Thanks to all of you who continue to support our efforts with your feedback, enthusiasm, and fan bucks purchases. While we don't have any new While we don't have a new character or event scheduled for May, we hope you're enjoying the latest store rotation that features a lot of great new looks and some classic favourites you asked to see again. Over here in the studio, some of the team has been working on a secret new project outside of Video Horror Society to help us bring in some additional revenue. Though it gets in the way of providing more frequent updates, we still have team members hard at work on Video Horror Society. We're putting our next devlog on hold until we have some more substantial updates to give you. Until then, we promise we are still here and still listening. See you in the beyond.
Well,
doesn't sound good, does it?
I'm going to say something that may shock you, but I, probably the most ardent voice in the VHS can still make it crowd, am ready to say it's over. Pack it up. It's done.
Right.
If you got a game,
officially dead.
If you got a game that's averaging 30 to 50 players and you're taking people off that team and putting them on another team, it's over. There's like what how do they come back? How do they come back from this?
Right. Well, I wondered if it meant freelance work. Because the way it's worded doesn't like to bring us some additional revenue doesn't mean we're making another game. That means we're doing stuff to bring money in. Mm-hmm. Which would mean freelance
work. DoorDash or something? You think they're driving for DoorDash?
Maybe. Yeah. I would assume programming for other games companies and stuff, like just doing like what they can, but
yeah, I mean,
it's not a good statement.
I feel like we bring up Resident Evil Resistance every week, but I'm having flashbacks to Resident Evil Resistance when they stopped updating the game and then they never updated it again. Seems like I would not be surprised if the anomaly is the last thing that happens for VHS.
Oh, I think it is. I think it's dead, right? That means it's dead.
It's a shame too. Because, like, if it is dead, then it died before the game could actually be officially released of early access. It hasn't even launched yet, you know?
Oh.
So did it really die? Did it ever exist?
Really lived, actually.
Yeah. Well,
it has to live to die.
If they're dead, are we in agreement that they're dead?
Yes. Yeah. There's no comeback from this.
That message is cryptic, sort of, but we know what it means.
I feel like it's reading first. So do we do like as well do like a moment of silence? Maybe take some time to mourn what could have been, or
I think it's more than they deserve, but I'm willing to do it.
Sure.
All right.
If it makes you feel better, Doug.
How do we start a moment of silence? I've never done one of these before.
We just say
do a gunshot. Has anyone got a
we'd
gun?
Like to...
Doug, John, you're the Americans.
Yeah, I don't know.
Okay, no, that's not how we do moments of silence. We don't do a gunshot.
I can get my gun if you want.
That's
do we need that?
It's a loud start to a moment of silence, I
100-meter dash. No, we just say we'd like to have a moment of silence for VHS.
Okay.
So who's gonna say that?
We'd like to have a moment of silence for VHS. All right, starting now.
Okay, I'm good. That's enough for me.
Yeah.
That was enough silence for me. That's all it deserves. I feel like
that was a quick moment.
I think what I'm gathering from that is it's wasted enough of Doug's time.
True.
I feel like the moment of silence was about as long as that game's relevance. So
probably longer. Gotta be honest.
If you're listening, by the way, Hellbent Games, say hello in the comments below. We'd love to hear from you.
I'm the guy that's played your fucking game for 300 hours. Remember me when you emailed me? No, you didn't, though. Okay, anyways, I'm not bad.
They did email you.
They did.
Ask if you've played the game.
I know, they did. I had somebody I tweeted about it. I tweeted this, like, kind of, you guys probably saw my tweet where I said, like, I'm not going to be petty about it, which I am here for some reason. But on the tweet, I was going to not be petty. And I said, it's just a shame to see a game with so much promise kind of just be run into the ground. And someone came back in the comments and were like, you probably didn't even play when Danger Sense got added. All these people that didn't even play the game saying a game had promise. And I'm just like, oh, another person that doesn't realize that I almost 100% of the game. Like I had all but 3 characters leveled max. Like I put hours into that game. I put a lot of passion into that game. I streamed that game.
Yeah.
Like I don't tell me that I didn't play 350 hours of that fucking game.
But have you considered checking out the anomaly? I'm probably hook you over code.
Yeah. Okay. Can we go to the next subject now, please? Like,
yeah.
I say we bring up VHS again only ever if like they put out any news, right? Like we shouldn't just bring it up on its own.
Well, we say that, but I'm gonna use it as a joke point the same way we use Resistance. So
that's fair, yeah.
Right.
I just mean like we don't really need to talk about a game that averages 30 to 50 people week to week.
Exactly.
Unless something happens.
Well, maybe this is a good transition to the next game, because the game that... Well, VHS is now dead. Let's talk about the game that VHS was destined to kill. Dead by Daylight.
Dead by Daylight. Ooh.
I can't believe it outlasted VHS. I can't believe it.
Yeah, it seems like it lived through the assassination attempt.
It did, yeah. Just about. Like, it's just about handing in... If anything's trying to kill Dead by Daylight, I'm pretty sure it's Dead by Daylight.
Yeah. DVD's biggest enemy is itself, for sure. The call's going to come from inside the house.
I have noticed less and less people playing it lately. Like, a general... And John, have you played it again at all recently?
I played it 2 streams in a row the other week. But I haven't played it in about a week and a half or so.
Mm.
But I did enjoy it. It's just, I don't know. It's just different now. We've covered it,
Yeah, I have ups and downs of DVD at the moment. Like, some streams I'm like, I love this video game. I love it. I love it so much. And then the next stream will be like, I got Skull Merchant 3 times in a row.
Yeah, it doesn't take much anymore to put me off of it. Like I had back-to-back streams, like I said, where I was just like, you know what, I'm kind of having fun. I had some nice matches, nothing highlight worthy, but nice matches. And then the last stream I had, I got about like 2 hours in the stream, and I was just like, I just think I'm done. Nothing really crazy happened. It's like I had a couple Skull Merchant games, but it just wasn't that fun.
The meta is starting to settle a little bit, though, since the new changes. Doug, you've noticed a few things with the meta, right?
Yeah, I mean, all I'll say is that there's a lot of people talking about like killer slowdowns gotten gutted, and there's no way to slow gens down anymore. But I would argue that the slowdown meta right now is as healthy as it's ever been. And
I would agree.
It's ever been.
I haven't.
If you play the game DVD, it's as good as it's ever been.
If it's as good as it's ever been, I would. I would say the game has never been better for killer still. I still think it continues to get healthier and healthier to play killer. It's never been easier to win as killer.
Yeah, I guess it's better than it's ever been would imply that slowdown's really strong, but I think the game, because of like the natural power shift of the nerfing to healing and the nerfs to medkits, slowdown isn't as paramount, and there's still very strong meta slowdown right now. I would argue that Scourge Hook Pain Res has never been better than it is right now. And that was my old faithful, right? That's what I used to run for all those months. When everybody was running Eruption. Everybody was was doing 3-gen builds. I was rocking Scourge Pain Res and Deadman Switch. And now I'm running it again. And that's the only slowdown I run, and it's never been more strong.
Yeah, I remember when they did the update, I thought it was going to be a rarer perk. I thought it was going to have issues, but I was wrong.
I think all 3 of us were kind of on the same page of like, this is worse than it was before, right? Yeah, because of the limited uses. But
I think it's stronger.
Yeah,
agreed.
I think that's kind of a common realization, because I was seeing it on Twitter too. People be like, actually, pain rates is pretty strong. The 25% is pretty good now. Yeah, because I definitely underestimated that. I thought that 15 to 25 was a nice bump, but that it wasn't going to change the fact that you can only use it 4 times. But you just have to be a little more strategic with it now. It's still very powerful.
You have to think. Wild concept, yeah. Wild concept. Yeah, and then if you play DVD, right? Like, you actually play the game. You don't just stay in a 3-gen corner, or you don't just camp out the first hook you get. Like, you go and you pair it with Deadman Switch. And, like, I think we were discussing this a little before the podcast, but, like, you bop them with the 25, and if they stay on it, they get Deadman Switch. Then you got that thing regressing and frozen. If they get off of it, and you bop it for 25 and they get back on it, you have plenty of time to get there before they finish that gen. So you're still able to get them off with Deadman Switch, slow the game down that way. Yeah. Naturally, Deadman Switch, just as a perk, even when you're not getting pain res, just slows the game down immeasurably just by patrolling gens, chasing people off of gens. I don't know how many games I won this last stream that I did, because I was able to push people off gens with Deadmans and give myself time to secure a hook. Mm-hmm. And then again, you can, like you said, so strategic with it, right? You get somebody down instantly, and you're gonna put the brakes on that first gen of the game. You hook them on a Scourge Hook. If you don't have a Scourge Hook, you can bank that one for later. Like it comes in valuable early, mid, and late game. There are situations where pain res can get you a ton of value from the first hook of the game to the last hook of the game.
Yeah, I've noticed a lot of it. Like, DB's snowball effect is like, so if you can get 1 or 2 hooks early on at the moment with pain res, you've basically won the game. Yeah, because you just deny the early game pressure. So you just kind of win as a killer. It feels like that anyway. There's very little comeback potential at the moment for, at least for solo queue. Like, I can't talk about Swifts. I'm sure they can bring it back whenever they want to. They can just plow through the gens, but
they get snapped
solo
their
queue,
fingers and have it done.
but solo queue,
Oof.
But vice versa, the same for killer. I've noticed, like when I've been playing killer and I go against a squad, there feels like there's very little room for me to bring it back without starting to just basically camp a hook and wait for them to mess up. Like, there's no comeback situation at the moment in DBD. I've noticed. Right. I've noticed that a lot with Deadman, Switch, and Pain Res. You say if you play DBD and actually don't just camp a hook, it's still effective if you do. Because if you get someone on a Pain Res hook and you get Pain Res off, and then someone comes to get that unhook and trades, that's another 25% right there.
Mm-hmm. Right. Yeah.
At least you can only do it once.
That is true.
Like before you could just juggle them on that hook in perpetuity, right?
Yeah.
And then like the good teams, the smart teams, will send somebody who's already been hooked to trade. So you can't get Pain Res again. I see that
Next
a lot.
level
I see.
strats.
I mean, this is the kind of when I play at the certain hours I play and at the MMR I play at, like I see that kind of stuff all the time. They'll intentionally send a guy into chase that's already been hooked.
Yeah.
Right.
Because they know they can get him at endgame. If it's down to like 1 or 2 gens, they know they can get him at endgame. So
you're definitely up against squads though.
Yeah, I play against squads.
Yeah. So
sometimes
a different.
But the thing is, like, I don't always play against squads. I just get squads. Like, that's the thing too. I wanted to bring that up when you brought it up earlier. Like, even me, I don't like to talk about my hours, but I have like,
do you have a
12,000. I have like 12,000. Yeah. And like 90% of those, 80% of those are killer hours. I play a lot of killer. I win a lot of killer games. My MMR has got to be high on killer. And I'm not saying that to boast. I'm just saying, like, there's no way I'm not over the cap, right? Like, I'm somewhere over the soft cap, right? And so if there are good teams out there, I'm going to end up running into them. And even I play that game a tremendous amount of time. I probably get like 3 to 4 organized squads per stream. Maybe.
Yeah, because I've watched 8 hours. You clean up against most teams anyway. But especially because like solo queue and duos are still the majority of. I would guess.
Absolutely.
Obviously, we only have the detail from 2019, but as far as I'm aware, I doubt it's changed too much.
Again, I play a lot of killer at IMR, and I would argue that well over half the games are against solos and duos, and like mixed match. Sometimes 3-1. The thing is, like, I would argue, and this might be a topic for a whole different season, but I would argue that like Survivor doesn't unlock full potential until it's a 4-man, because one person can throw a match. One bad player can definitely completely throw a match at DVD.
I'm still on my journey of improving my MMR since I merged with Epic. My MMR is finally getting good again. Like, I'm losing matches as killer. Like, it's refreshing, honestly. But if I can find that weak link, because my MMR at the moment will give me 3 good players and a weak person sometimes, well, most of the time now. And if I find that weak person, I win, because they're just going to go down. And I know if I need to, I can take them out whenever I need to.
Tunnels the shit out of them.
No, I don't tunnel them, but like if I see them and like say I'm down to 1 or 2 gens, I see that person, like, well, if I take them out, which I can end that chase really quickly.
There's like GG next, motherfucker.
Motherfucker. But like, I'm noticing that. So yeah, 1 weak link can basically turn the tide in the game. You're right. 4-man Swift, optimal.
Yeah. Yeah. And you're not going to see 4-mans very often. Trust me.
Yeah.
I don't. And I play a lot.
I've also noticed a lot of corrupt intervention, no way out, making its way into the meta as well. Everything just slowing the game down. It's really effective though.
Yeah. If the game doesn't have like pain res and stuff in it, which it might still, but it has corrupt intervention, sloppy, no way out. I tend to see those 3 together a lot. Which honestly, I'll take this a million times over the eruption Call of Brine overcharge meta that we had before. Anything is better than that to me. So this is a welcome change. Yeah,
like at least with the sloppy butcher thing, killers come back to hook when they bring that generally to interrupt the heal. Yeah. It's better than them 3-genning. Not that that's gone. Obviously, the Skull Merchant's still around.
Right. Yeah.
I've taken to I just give up. I don't want to play against Skull Merchant. I refuse. There's no joy to be had. I just die. I just walk towards a hook and point at it.
So that's reasonable. I would love to play with you because if somebody else gives up, I give up. I always try at the beginning, but I mean, it's just like
I was tricked into it. One brought bloody party stream and I was like, you know what, fine. I'll play.
And then 40 minutes later, you were like, I could have played 3 games without streamers.
It was like a 20-minute
more
match.
points.
Fortunately, they were bad.
Yeah.
Most Skull Merchant players probably are.
It does feel good to win against Skull Merchant in solo queue. There's no other thrill like it.
And there's good. Don't get me wrong. There's good Skull Merchant players out there.
Yeah.
There's good Skull Merchant players out there that are creative with the kit, and they play a chase merchant, and that's more rare than the 4-man Swifts that everybody plays against. Apparently,
It's not that creative though, is it? You walk into a killer shack, they throw their drone down, you eventually have to leave because you're going to get exposed, or I don't know. I just find it really boring. I'd rather play pig or play against. Like, at least they do some interesting things.
Skull Merchant's by far my least favorite to play against at this point. Anything's better than Skull Merchant.
Yeah, but the Knight's not far off in my opinion. The Knight's pretty boring too, still as well.
Still better than Skull Merchant.
Still better than Skull Merchant.
Can do things, you know.
I think I said this last time too, but I think the game's future kind of hinges to me on whatever they do for the next killer. If it can bring it back to like their more traditional design, aka away from Skull Merchant and Knight, then that'll be really good. And if it's another one like them, then I don't know.
I like to believe that behavior as a business will look at how many people are playing Skull Merchant and Knight relative to how many people are playing Wesker, and how many Wesker DLCs they sold, and say, this is what people want, and this is what we're going to try to do. Hopefully, that's what they'll do.
Skill shot Wesker killers,
he's a very well designed chase killer, and that's what the game needs more of.
I think skill shot killers in general are just like a good thing to have more of, and we've only had one in the past like year and a half, and it was Wesker. And they need to come out more often than that, I think.
And he's the most popular killer in DBD right now. So what does that tell you about the player base, you know, and what they want to pay for?
They love Resident Evil. I'm not sure if the next one killer can. I don't know. They're gonna have to figure something out because there's just too many really horrible killers at the moment. Like, I don't know. I just made a YouTube video and I went through a list and I was like, I asked people, how do you feel when you play against Tombstone Myers, Alchemist Ring Blight, Legion, Hag, Nurse, Skull Merchant, Knight? It's like there's a lot of killers that it's like, ugh, Sophie Butcher, Wraith, Insidious Bubba. It's like as all of these things, Condemned Sadako, Pinky Finger Clown, Black Incense Plague. There's a lot of misery in the game at the moment, which I think they need to. I don't know. Well, I don't mind that plague, but still, I know people hate her. I don't actually hate all of those killers, but I know people do hate them with a passion, sort of thing. So, I don't know.
But I think that's why it's important to bring in a killer that's like fun to play, like that could create some excitement again. Because I mean, are you really gonna play Sloppy Butcher Wraith as much if something fun just came out? You know. I mean, I think it could freshen up the game a bit.
I've seen a lot of killers who play what are fun killers badly recently as well. Like every time I hear a Huntress lullaby, I'm like, oh, fucking love Huntress. They're and then I get into the match and they put someone on hook and they just kind of camp and like, okay.
And they hold their hatchet up. Yeah.
I've seen Billy's doing that quite a lot lately. It's like, really?
Yeah.
Billy, just play Bubba. Why are you doing this with Billy?
Well, like, why are you playing Billy in the most boring way possible? Yeah. It doesn't make much sense. But I wonder if a lot of that is the product of the game being in kind of a stale state right now. Because people are just kind of killing time, really, when they're doing
I saw one of the bigger content creators in the community kind of put out a message on Twitter talking about how, like, he's been playing the game since launch, and this might be the most collectively bored and burned out the community's ever been.
Yeah.
And there's another, I mean, the balance changes have been good. The game is...
Oh, the balance is great. Like it's never been more balanced.
Yeah, it's in a very healthy place, and I feel like the devs are listening and they're making the right changes, and I think they're hopefully setting up for a big anniversary chapter. But I think just the general player base is just burned out.
To be clear on that balance thing, though, it's only really balanced when it's 3-4-man Swifts versus a killer that are all trying to win. I think outside of that, the balance is a complete disaster. Because solo can never compete. Yeah. You know, as you're saying, like, it only takes one person who's not like playing their hardest to win, and then you've lost. And that's, I mean, Ops did that tweet, didn't he? Where it was like he said RNG. It was like I don't know if he was really saying it, but it was like a picture that suggested RNG was the least determining factor in a win of DBD. I was like, well, no, because in solo queue, all of the other factors are RNG as well. You haven't got a clue who you're playing with.
Yeah.
It's
Agreed.
kind of DBD's perpetual problem of like in a 4v1, the survivors have the advantage, and in a 3v1, the killer has a pretty sizable advantage. And so whenever you knock someone out, like get tunneled out or whatever, DC, the power swings completely the other direction. There's no like middle ground usually, unless the killer is like bad and it's a 3v1, or like it's a 4v1, but the survivors are collectively just not that good. And I don't know how they ever repair that. That's just going to always be an issue.
But also, I've had a lot of killers lately where when someone does DC, they don't care anymore. They just play for fun.
Yeah.
I have noticed that quite a lot. A lot of killers recently seem to be in a better mindset. On my end. Like, I've also seen other people's streams where
it's
it's
mindset,
misery.
bro? When somebody DCs or quits on the first hook, I just get it over with as fast as possible so I can move on to a real game. Why do you want me to just chill out, bro?
Well, like, allow a chase. Don't just put someone on a hook and stare
It's
at
not my
them.
fault. Oh, I mean, I don't camp, but
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like, that's what I mean. Like, that's not happening when someone DCs. They just play the game. I'm not saying they give everyone the exit door. They just let everybody win. I'm saying they just relax. They don't.
It's like it's like if you have a DC, maybe don't slug for the 4K.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just little things like that.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, they just play the game.
I thought you were wanting me to just give them stuff for free.
No,
I'm like, no, man, I'm going to play the game. I'm playing.
Fuck them. They're not going to let
automatic farm game.
Yeah. Yeah. No. Fuck that. That's be horrible.
I value my time.
I just mean they play and they have a chase with you, and sometimes they'll give someone a hatch at the end, but usually they just kill everyone. That's fine. I don't care.
I will hard commit to the next chase I have until I catch them no matter what, though. So if they just go tile to tile and pre-throw, I'll still just chase that same person while the other two people do gens. Like, I think that's really funny to do.
Yeah,
but it's a 3v1.
Mm-hmm.
Give them the chase of their life, man.
That's called being fun, Doug. You're a fun killer. That's fun.
True.
Easy 3-gen, Nancy. Easy 3-gen.
Oh, no. Not the easy 3-gen. I've noticed that, too. I'll put playing Survivor, and, like, somebody will DC, and then the killer will, like, be chasing me, and they'll down me, and then they'll, like, leave me slug and go kick a gen and 4 gens. I'm like, what the fuck are you doing, man?
I know, yeah.
We're not getting the gens done. Like,
3v1?
Are you dry kicking a 4-gen in a 3v1? Like, just put me on the hook. I want to go home.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They gotta get that 100 points or whatever it is.
Yeah, 150 or whatever.
Yeah, well,
in their defense, they might be trying not to black pip. Someone DCs, that's going to hurt their chances of like getting to rank 1. They're really trying to get as much as possible.
Killer pipping is so free.
Trying to get to rank 1 in solo queue recently, I was like,
impossible.
Every point, I did it. Basically through charity though. The killer let me live in one match and it gave me the pip, and I was like, oh my god, thank. Because we had a DC immediately.
Right.
And I was like, oh, we're in trouble. But he just played normally and then just let me live.
Mm-hmm.
I've been hard stuck at Eerie 3 for a week now on Survivor. I can't.
Yeah.
I just get like a pip, lose a pip, get a pip, lose a pip.
Yeah.
So hard to pip as a solo queue Survivor.
Yeah. I got stuck on Eerie 2 for a long time. And basically every time I'd start to make progress, I'd get skull merch, like, oh, I don't care.
Yeah. Back to the basement.
Just the pip's not worth it. I'm just leaving.
Right.
But yeah, hopefully anniversary event, which is next month.
Yeah.
Should be.
Hopefully that's really good.
They'll probably have details about it over the next couple weeks. Like,
yeah, I'm
teasers,
expecting a trailer or something, like a hint.
Yeah.
It'll be something cool
Start
looking,
building up hype.
like like a skull on a drone. You'll be like, oh wow, what's it gonna be? A robot killer? And then it'll be like,
it'll be like a slinky Brazilian babe that likes manga. Her parents were manga artists. Sorry. Anything else we want to discuss with DBD?
that's everything I wanted to cover. Doug's got a look in his eye like he's pondering.
No, I was just doing.
Are you loading up VHS? You can't save it. It's dead, Doug. Accept it.
I went into the Fog Whisperer Discord because there was updates in there. I was just looking at something. If you want me to be honest about what I was doing.
Anything you can share?
Yeah, anything you want to tell us?
No.
Or is this another one of those things you just refuse to tell your best friends in the whole wide world?
Yeah,
Right,
sorry about my NDA, Gary. Next time,
This is why you're not a co-host.
refuse to sign.
Yeah, don't bring it up.
Exactly why.
Oh, I just got invited to an awesome pie. Oh, can we? No, you can't come. It's just for me. I just want you to know that I've been invited to a cool party.
What's the next game, Gary?
Evil Dead.
Evil Dead.
So Evil Dead had an update. The big Game of the Year update. It's now available on Steam. There is a new
Yes.
demon, Bao or Ball? Bao.
Bale?
I'll say Bale.
Isn't it Bale?
I think it's Bale.
B-A-L.
Sinnoh always calls him Bal though, so I don't know.
I really want to call him Ball.
You want to call him Ball.
Look, here's Ball.
Gary's like not like the other guys.
That's the
Gary's
stupidest
different.
possible pronunciation of Bale or whatever.
I know.
Ball.
Yep, Ball. And is there new survivors as well?
Yeah. What's that?
I forgot who they are.
It's Ash Williams' dad.
Because when I was trying to look on the Epic Store of where to buy the DLC, all I could see was just some old man that looked a little bit like Ash, and I was like, "Where's the new demon?" I was like, "Surely you put him on the front of the DLC."
Is it pronounced Ball?
Please tell me it is. If it's pronounced Ball, that'd be really funny. I assumed it's like.
It's pronounced
Brock.
Bale. It's
Brock
pronounced Bale
Williams.
in U.S. English and Ball in British English is what this says.
Oh my god! So yeah, I can call him Ball. Oh balls! It's Ball.
What the hell? Okay, sorry. Keep going.
So yeah, I played a bit of it today. I played a bit of Survivor first. My first match, I think I bumped into a hacker. Their skeleton was taking. They were playing Necromancer. They weren't taking any damage. But as far as I'm aware, that's a rarity. That was a very weird thing. Like I've spoken to a few people. Like generally, that's not the usual. It's not got a hacker problem. Is that right, Doug?
I don't know that I've ever seen a hacker on Epic Games. Not a single time.
It was really weird because I was like, I can't do any damage to this guy. Maybe it was a bug. It could have been a bug. I did bump into a couple of bugs, but they weren't taking damage. And then two of my teammates DC'd, and I was like, great.
Fun.
But after that, it was all fun. After that, I had a blast with her. Ball is awesome. I love his Deadites. I love them
really
so
cool.
much. They run
Agreed.
like Attack on Titans. Like the little Titans. The way they move around is just... They look superb to me.
Yeah, if there's one thing that Evil Dead does a really good job with, it's just like the aesthetics and the overall design of the characters. Like they don't release low quality chapters.
Mm.
Like they put a lot of time and care into each of their chapters, which is probably why it takes so long between updates. But yeah, I think that the Who's Your Daddy update with Brock and Ball, and I think it's really good. The game balance has never been better. Like it's literally as good as it's ever been. Demon feels winnable again. There's some kind of cheese play style out there right now to play Ball. That's kind of...
I did experience it a little bit.
Yeah.
It was kind of annoying.
Like you're talking about the chain possessing, right?
Yeah, getting thrown into like a summon portal thing, and then by the time that was dealt with, I'd get possessed again, and then thrown into another one. Like, okay, this is
what I don't know if it's because it takes so long to level the characters up, and the characters are so weak when they're not leveled up. But I don't see a lot of Ball. I get him like 1 every 5 games or something like that.
I went
the other
a few
demons
times.
The legacy demons are still winning, and they're not winning every time. It's like it actually feels like a pretty balanced game.
Yeah, I played a couple. I played a bit of Necromancer because that's my favorite. I haven't had a chance to play Ball yet. But the games were close. They were fun.
Yeah,
I didn't feel like I was getting destroyed. Like it felt like I had comeback potential. I will say, I mean, I don't like playing Survivor in that game. It's like interruption simulator sometimes. Like if you're trying to revive a teammate, it gets really annoying. When it's like, just give me a second just to revive them so we can play the game again.
if you play with good players, you would be. I mean, there's a lot of counterplay to that. You're able to basically while you're
what
reviving.
that means is don't play solo, right?
Yeah, it's going to be every game struggles in solo queue, right? And I'll say this. I'll be playing with Sinnoh. I'll say it out loud. Like, I need someone to watch this. I need someone to cover this res because, like, if I don't have someone covering, I'll get interrupted. So it just comes down to having good team play.
Yeah.
Players are getting better. There's a lot of new players in the game right now too, Gary, that just came over and started.
That would
playing
make
on
sense.
Steam,
Yeah,
so.
I've seen their driving. Yeah, it's terrible.
Yeah.
So I just Googled the pronunciation of ball. So apparently there's no consensus way to say it because apparently, just from what I've read, the way you say it in the original Hebrew, because it's a Hebrew word, is Baal. That's how you say it there. But the English pronunciation can be either Baal or Baal, depending on where you live. So they're all correct.
I would suggest Bale, just because ball is double L, but ball is also funny, so I'm going to vote on that side because of that. So it's just a tough choice.
So we got something of like a GIF and GIF situation.
Ball,
Yeah,
right?
kind of.
Ball sounds like a DBZ villain name to me.
Another one of like Piccolo's egg babies.
Yeah.
Drum, tambourine, and ball.
You've heard of Cell and Boo. Now meet Ball.
He's the fused version.
Yeah, yeah. He's the Boo and Cell fused together. Anyway, sorry.
But to bring it back, I would just say it's a really good time to be getting an Evil Dead game if you're interested in playing it. The player base is really strong and healthy.
Yeah, finding matches was not a problem.
Yeah.
And I will say, I really love every map feels so different now because like 1 minute it's raining blood, the next second it's like a different map and it's snowing, it's raining, it's dark, it's just, the variety just feels great. I did enjoy it. I was playing Survivor. Actually, you know me, Doug, I don't really like playing Survivor, but I had fun. Good. I enjoyed it. The balance changes have made that more enjoyable.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, I'd agree. It's in the best place it's been since launch, in my opinion. So go play it.
Yeah.
It's on Steam. New characters are cool.
Play Evil Dead.
Yes.
Not sponsored.
Not yet.
Yeah.
But if you are watching, feel free to say hello in the comments below.
Yeah, Saber, if you're watching,
Saber
we'd love to talk
please.
to you.
Yeah. Let's do a shout out to... we didn't do a shout out to Behavior. We did it to the other ones. Behavior, if you're watching during the Evil Dead segment, feel free to drop a comment.
Yeah. I like the idea they just watch the Dead by Daylight section to check and go, yeah, they seem happy enough, I guess. Right, we'll move on.
What'd they say about us?
They popped the champagne when we said VHS was dead.
Yeah.
Phew!
Yeah. Well, yeah, because everybody at Behavior was really worried, I'm sure.
We don't have to worry about the snail coming to kill us.
Damn us for claiming that $10 million. So,
on snails.
Prop Night? Anybody?
Prop Night, anyone?
Anyone like some fart and bonk? A little bit of farting, a little bit of bonking?
Prop Night, or as I like to call it, All Reliable. Still trucking.
Still going.
I checked their player count today because I was like, I wonder if it's gone down. And when I checked, they had about 880 people playing. So, seems like things are like pretty good, like staying pretty stable. I keep waiting for it to go down, and they've dipped below 1,000 now, but it's still pretty strong, very strong numbers.
Yeah, they've just had a new patch, 5.5.0, giving a. This is probably the most interesting they did. They've just buffed all player speed for movement. They've just upped it all. So
made the game faster, yeah. Yeah,
the game just feels faster. It just feels more pleasant to move around.
That's
now.
good.
Yeah, I ran around as killer and survivor, and I just thought, it just feels better. It just feels a lot better to move around. They actually reduced the wiggle timer as well, which I thought was an interesting change. So you've got more chance to wiggle off, I guess. They also have changed. These are just the most interesting bits of the update.
I guess that makes sense because the killer's faster when carrying the survivor now, right?
Yes, yeah. Consecutive stuns reduce the stun timer now. So if you keep stunning the killer, it will reduce how long they're stunned for, which is a nice change, I think. And then all the killers and survivors have basically had their abilities adjusted in various ways. Small ways, like I think Stephanie's the invisible girl, like hers, when she comes out of stealth now, out of invisibility, she doesn't make noise. Just little things like that, just quality of life changes that I think they all read fine. They all seem like nice little changes. And there's a new map, Goldhorn Mine, which is quite a large map. It looks really nice. There's some really cute toys on it. There's one that's like a penguin toy holding a heart. And there was another one that's a red panda toy with glasses. So adorable. Those are my two favourite things when exploring the map. But yeah, like generally, nice map. Looks nice. There's lots of dynamite and stuff to jump into. I did get 3 machined on it. I'm not going to say 3 genned. But like, I did notice the killer just patrolling 3 gens on it. And they ran the timer out. Like I think my teammates just sucked because no one. I was like, I did 4 gens. I did 4 prop machines. I did 4 of them.
Yeah.
And I was like, how have they not been able to do one between the 3 of them?
Right.
Like they joined me on other machines. I was like, how have they not? And I think the killer was just patrolling, which kind of stunk. But that only happened once. The rest of the matches were fine. So,
did they ever bring the kitchen map back? Because I don't think they did.
No, that's still disabled.
That's probably for the best. I guess they're completely reworking it then.
Yeah, which I do applaud them for. They release a map, they realize there's a giant design problem with it, and they just turned it off, and they're going to rethink it.
They kill switched it.
They kill switched it.
Yeah.
If only there was another game that had that capability.
But it's so weird because I didn't know they had a kill switch ability. Is that just something that all developers have? They can just take things out of the game?
If you program a game properly, you can just flick a switch. It should just disable things.
I thought it was a superpower only DBD had. They made like a big deal out of it.
They finally disabled the area of crows.
Good.
And everyone was making a stink of how long it took them or how short it took. I was like, they did it. It's a good thing.
Took him a while though, Gary.
Gary probably thinks there's.
It did take
no
him.
issue with-
There was the thing. Like, I thought it took them too long, but then I saw people tweeting out, like, "Of course they fix it immediately when it affects killers." And I was like, "What?"
Well, I mean, to be on the
I
flip,
thought it took them ages, but
on the flip side, they like didn't kill switch Merciless Storm for months as it was bugged.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think
that's
as much as I see what you're saying, Gary, I kind of take their side on that. Like Eerie got kill switched in a few days. Merciless Storm lasted months.
Yeah, I mean, I will say, like, any means necessary is currently switched off as well at the moment.
Right.
I don't know what I see. It could be they just haven't programmed their kill switch very well. Maybe certain things aren't easily turned off. I don't know.
Yeah.
Because I just think they're not.
It's less of a kill switch and more of like a kill conveyor belt that breaks sometimes and doesn't keep moving.
Yeah, because I don't know why they didn't just kill switch Merciless Storm. Because it seemed like an easy one to kill switch because it was super busted.
Yeah.
Anyway, we're back on DBD.
Yeah.
Nope. Moving on. What's after Prop Night, Gary? What's after Prop Night?
Oh, we can talk about last year. Potentially, like how.
Why would we talk about 2022?
What?
John made a bad joke.
You said time to talk about last year, and I just don't understand why we would talk about it.
Well,
last year was a big year. 2022 is the birth of the Spine Show podcast.
That is true.
Right?
Oh,
let's reminisce.
September 2022. You know, we've been doing this now for 8 months. 8 months.
Oh my god.
We're about to have a baby. A podcast baby.
Podcast baby.
What are we going to call it?
Gary.
No. I don't like that.
Okay. John?
No.
Running Gary on.
Jughead?
Johnning Man.
Johnning Man. Jarry
This
Man?
This bit sucks.
Jarry Man? No.
Funny
Fuck
quick.
you, Doug. We're sticking with it. We'll turn it into gold.
Fuck you, Doug. We're sticking with it. That could be the baby's name.
Maybe Johnning Man could be the last name. What about like Scott Johnning Man? That could be the baby.
I like it. I like it.
Yeah, okay.
Okay.
Full send.
Scott
Johnning Man.
Great. So what about 2022? Is that what you want to talk about?
So the game last year came out like 5 years ago, and they launched it as a Discord exclusive. Had a huge flop because it was on the Discord store that doesn't exist anymore. So eventually they moved to Steam, had a little bit of a resurgence. A lot of people played. In my opinion, content creators crying about the difficulty of playing killer in the game is what ruined the game, and what the devs listened to.
Content creators ruining video games in asymmetrical
Yeah, believe it or
genre?
not.
That doesn't sound... I
Believe it or
couldn't
not,
imagine something like
the
that.
devs were
Did you
listening
hear
to
the
a
VHS
few...
is dead, by the way?
Right. The devs were listening to a few outspoken content creators who were claiming that the game was not balanced and that they should never lose as killer ever. And so the game was painfully unfun to play on Survivor, and then the game died. So the game's been dead for a couple of years, and another development team bought up all the assets and re-released it as a free-to-play game. And it's back, and it's doing very, very well. It was at, when I checked this morning when I woke up at like 7 a.m. Pacific, it was at 800 plus concurrent on Steam, which is not bad.
That's pretty good. Those are Prop Night numbers.
Yeah. Exactly. That's literally what I said out loud to myself in bed, John, was those are Prop Night numbers.
Yeah.
That's good. That's good.
All reliable.
But I got a chance to play it quite a bit this last week.
I said it out loud in bed. It just sounds a bit dramatic.
Those are Prop Night numbers.
Anyways, so played the game quite a bit over the last week. Gary and I actually played it together for the first time. Stop it, dude. Is there no professionalism left in journalism, Gary? Nah, I'm done.
Oh, man. I mean, we all have our sayings in the bedroom, I guess, but that one's a new one for me.
Whoa, those are Propnight numbers.
That's good.
I have fucking tears in my eyes, man.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right. So after post-nut clarity, what did you say after that?
Oh god.
So last year's pretty decent. Gary and I played it. We played it for the first time together. We had our first experience together in last year with the new.
Stop
last
saying
year.
things that just sound weird now, Doug.
I'm doing it on purpose. That was intentional. Gary was my first, John. Gary was my first. But no, I had played it. I played it like 50 hours back when it was, the first thing. Which I actually have more than 50 hours. I had 50 on Steam before, but I also played it on the Discord version. So I don't really know how many hours.
I can't imagine you doing that, pumping a bunch of hours into a soon-to-be dead game. Doesn't sound very on brand, Doug.
Soon to be dead, Gary. That's crazy. They're doing Propnight numbers. But yeah, so Gary and I played, and I'm a little. It's very buggy. There's some issues with the UI in terms of like displaying health when you're playing classmate, and I get frustrated with that as I usually play medic. I get frustrated not knowing like where my health is at. But otherwise, the it's fun. I think they do need to sooner than later start adding new content because it's literally just the exact same game that was out before, but it's free to play and it has the progression system they installed before they shut the game down is still there. So there is progression, there is things to do and unlock. But people are seeming entertained by it, and I don't have any trouble getting lobbies, and I have a lot of fun when I play it solo queue. So.
That's cool.
Gary played with me once and he doesn't want to play it anymore, so we can talk to Gary.
I would play it. I would give it another go, but like I had 3 matches and I was like, okay, I'm kind of done with this. And then after 10 you were like, you kind of came round to how I was feeling about it after 10. So it's nice that that's we've now got like a way of measuring the difference of how
our enthusiasm, yeah, like it takes Gary 3 games to call a game dead. It takes me 10 to call a game maybe needing some work. And I said I need some work. I didn't say it was dead. I think it's got a good framework.
I don't think it's a dead game. Did
y'all play Killer and Survivor, or just Survivor, or just
Survivor?
I've just played Survivor.
I haven't played Fiend yet, but I will tell you that one complaint I have is that it does still feel very Fiend-sided. The game feels insurmountable as a solo queue. And I would assume...
my assessment of the game would be, I think the game feels great. I think it looks great. I think the animations feel good. The UI is nice. The graphics are nice. The sound design's all nice. All tick, 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 tick. The gameplay for me, my issue is, it reminds me of Back 4 Blood, where it's just kind of like I'm just swinging, a bit like the worst part of Evil Dead for me, where I'm just swinging at enemies and hack and slashing. It just feels like I'm not really I'm not really having an actual interaction with the other side. I'm just kind of slashing at stuff. Because what happens in the game is the killer or the fiend just kind of spawns in, they target someone, try to kill them, they either succeed or they don't. Usually they kill someone, and then they disappear for a bit and come back and try and kill someone else. And it's just that over and over again. And when they choose to target you, it usually feels like you're kind of screwed. At least in solo queue. I imagine like if you have a 5-man team, you can react properly. But in solo queue, people are just running off doing their own thing. And it just felt like the interaction was really lacking for me. The best bit of DBD is obviously looping, and this game just felt like killer just spawns in and kills you.
Mm-hmm.
It looks like it's very fun to play Fiend. I've watched a few people playing Fiend. It looks fun to do that, to just pop in and kill people, because it feels good to win.
Right.
Because I haven't really seen people losing as Fiend, as Doug's kind of saying, like,
yeah,
it feels very Fiend-sided.
Right.
Yep.
I remember,
I see that objectively, right?
I think it was like, if it was a few months before the game shut down, I think the last time I played last year, I tried to play Survivor, and it was like miserable game after miserable game after miserable game, where the killer just demolished everybody. It seems like they just kind of copied and pasted that into this new scenario, right? So, but how long can they coast on that before they start
that's what I was
making
saying.
major bounce
They kind of
changes?
need to start making changes, and they need to get some new content out fast because people are going to get tired of it, just like they did last time.
Right. Yeah,
Like, I don't know why casual survivor players would play it.
This is the state that the game was in when it failed, right? So
Yeah.
where's the solutions? Yeah.
Yeah, I would agree with that. So clock is ticking now because people, asym fans are very fickle.
Mm-hmm.
It won't take people long to give up on the game.
Well, yeah, because like these games ultimately they all are competing with DBD.
Right.
And I just think as miserable as DBD solo queue can be sometimes, it's infinitely better than the solo queue experience I had in last year.
Mhm.
Especially when like one of the mechanics is obviously crafting things. It's in like I was playing like day 2 or 3 whenever we jumped onto it, and everyone's just like running around getting all the scrap. You get nothing.
Yeah.
It's like a fight for your life to get any scrap to do anything. So it's like I'm just walking around with my basic skills and getting killed occasionally by the fiend. It's just I want to like it though because I loved the tutorial. After I played the tutorial, I got very excited because I was like, oh, this feels polished. This feels nice. And then the gameplay just kind of stunk.
Yeah.
I'll be willing to give it another go.
I do wonder how much room there's going to have for last year when, we got the number 1 game, DBD, right now, and then you got Texas Chainsaw Massacre starting a beta this month.
Yep, 2 weeks from now-ish.
Yeah.
Maybe just under.
Yeah, so you've got that hype starting to build. You've got Killer Clowns possibly coming out this year still. Whenever we hear something like that,
if I emailed them or something, to be like, guys, what's going on? Just want to know. Any news?
Yeah. I'm just saying, like, I just wonder how much room there is for last year because I feel like it's gonna have a hard time edging in, like especially if they're not, like you said, Doug, like they're not making any major changes and adding any new content yet. It just kind of feels like, why is this coming back? If it feels like they don't have a plan or like a roadmap forward at the moment.
I think it will depend on how quick they are to develop. Because, like, for example, Propnight, I think what saved that is they're pretty reactive. They're on it. They're constantly adding new stuff and changing things. But if they react at a pace similar to VHS's team, Hellbent, it'll die. It'll take too long.
Yeah. I mean, the game, like I said, the game died the first time for a reason. So it just, I'm a little confused, I think, by last year. But it's like, what's the plan here? What are they doing? What is there? Did they just do this for fun, or like is this actually like something that they're serious about, or what? So I don't know.
Yeah, it could just be they were very passionate about the project. A bit like Resident Evil Resistance. Imagine if some of those dedicated players, the Jackal, could purchase the game.
Yeah,
they can't because it's Resident Evil.
Can't.
There's no chance. But
yeah, they can't. Yeah, but who knows? One can dream.
The Jackal keeps coming up on the podcast. I never thought he was going to get this famous, man. I'm like, it's crazy.
Yeah.
I really hope he adopts the name. Because I'm the Jackal.
I'm the Jackal, baby.
I'm the Jackal, baby. Then the only other thing is, do we want to talk about Puppet Master?
Yeah, I mean, we can mention that the game itself is in a pretty dead state right now. I checked it the other day and had like 15 people playing, but they do have a roadmap, so they have more than like 90% of horror asyms. We actually have like things on paper that they're going to do. So I'm hoping that the roadmap gets adhered to at least loosely, and that they're able to pick up a little momentum. Because I think the game is fun. It's a fun concept. Kind of neat to make the survivor the 1 and the killers the 3. That's kind of a neat concept, like 3 weaker killers instead of 1 strong killer.
It feels weird to me that it's like, if you look at Killer Clowns, it's kind of a similar type of film franchise that's being built upon. The Puppet Master game feels like a Unity indie team sort of thing. Like they're just kind of making something, and then the Killer Clowns game looks really professional.
What game?
Killer Clowns.
What game? What? What?
It will come out at some point, I'm sure.
Will it?
Yeah.
They haven't
said
anything for a while though. It's been maybe they're stuck in the beyond. Maybe they're
it's the dark and
looking.
it's the dark and darker of asym games, man. It's like, okay, we all got excited, and now we're all heartbroken because it's never going to happen.
I have to look into it. I might go into their Discord and see if I can poke them.
See,
Is
the
Dark
last
and
update that was
Darker-
in their Discord was 4 months ago or something. Yeah.
Is Dark and Darker like not coming out anymore or what?
We don't know.
They're getting sued, aren't they?
Yeah, it's an asset war
what?
with. You didn't know about all this stuff, John?
Well, I knew that they came out with a new update, but you could only torrent it, and it wasn't coming
Yeah.
out on Steam,
Which
right?
I think was the bit where I was like, they might have made a bad choice here because
Because I remember reading that and being like, oh, that's really fucking weird, but I didn't look into it or anything.
Yeah, there's something going on. There's assets from the previous development team that moved over to the new development team and brought assets with it. And then like there's been screenshots shared where like it was basically the same game and there's some sort of copyright infringement.
Which is
I don't know all the details because I'm not super invested.
Which honestly, you can make the same game again as long as there's not like they haven't reused the code or any of the actual asset like models and meshes and stuff because you can't copyright an idea. Like they can go off and make the exact same game with different code and different. It basically depends if they have stolen code because I don't think it's the assets.
Okay.
So. But the fact but I think the torrent thing was a really weird choice on their part to publicly like use a torrent to do it. I feel was I don't know, like that won't look if that does go to court and there's any legitimacy to it. I think it just doesn't look good. It looks like they weren't respecting the legal process and just
I wasn't making like a
Like
direct
looking for a
comparison,
loophole.
more just the concept of being excited about a game and then having it taken away from you was more I was because we talked about Killer Clowns like in depth for multiple episodes in a row. And then there just hasn't been any new news in months, and then at this point, it's like, was it a dream? Did we make it up?
Yeah, the last time, like, I was getting really excited because they were showing, like, here's what the humans all look like. Here's how all the cosmetics are going to be in the game. Here's a dog like a little balloon dog that you can hunt humans down with. I was getting like some ideas what the game was going to be. I've not tweeted anything
their last announcement was on February 14th, 2000.
I think that's when we spoke about it. It was around there.
Yeah. Very interested.
I'm sure we'll get a.
But Texas Chainsaw Massacre, like, that one's coming out.
Excited. I'm excited to go in. 3 killer squad.
Oh, we're gonna have so much fun. And we're gonna roleplay still.
Right. Doug's Bubba, and you and I are the little helpers.
Yes, master. I found one.
I found one. They're in the basement.
I'll go feed Grandpa.
yeah. We'll do all the bitch work. Grandpa's hunger meter is getting low.
Doug, when we play it, can you refer to me and John as bitch 1 and bitch 2?
I would be more than happy to. I'll tell you what. I was just gonna say this is what I've got. This is what I've got to look forward to. I can't wait.
Gary, Grandpa's piss meter is filling up. Get up there with the pan right now.
I'll go empty it, master.
Oh, this could be fun.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
Oh,
we got a couple weeks to go. Yeah.
I really hope we all get in like the technical test. Well, I hope I get it. I'm pretty sure you
I hope
guys
so
are safe.
too. I did everything I was supposed to do to get into it. Like I watched it on terminals. There was something else I like replied
to fill out
to
like
a tweet. I filled out a thing. Yeah. So the thing is that if one of us gets in, they'll get codes for everybody else because they're not just going to hand out one code.
Oh no.
They're not just going to be like, here, Doug, here's one code. Have fun joining in solo queue.
Yeah.
They're gonna give out multiple. Not. Yeah.
I'd like to think I'll get a code, but
you were both on their Christmas list. You guys are fine.
Yeah, but John didn't accept his Christmas gift. So
They might think I dissed them. They might think I dissed them.
They moved you onto the naughty list. Like, fine.
Mr. Wolfe, we've sent your code to Gary. He appreciates us.
Some people respond to emails.
Me, I desperately would be like, yes, please. Anything.
It's my first email in weeks.
It's been quiet.
Somebody's trying to contact me.
My phone's blowing up.
So is that it? Was that horror asym for the week?
I think it is. That's season 29
so.
under wraps.
Yeah,
in the
That's good.
bag.
And then our next season we'll be back with a tier list, right?
Well, so we're gonna take next week off because it's my fault. I'm going on a little trip, so I'll be AFK.
I also have something going on next weekend though, so it's not all John's fault. I wouldn't have been here if John was here. So And is it really worth having
a special
a season?
season 30, just Gary?
The one-man show. What if is this 2 hours of Gary shitting on VHS? Now that no one's here to tell me to shut up, let me start from the beginning.
We're going to learn some game design together, guys, and we're going to shit talk VHS. No, I'll just pretend I'm busy as well, so it doesn't seem like I have no life.
Yeah, so no episode next week. But the week after that, we'll be back with season 30. And yeah, we haven't quite decided what we're doing. We would like to do a special video, but then we'll also have Texas Chainsaw Massacre to talk about.
I mean, I lean towards Texas Chainsaw will be the special video because
yeah,
come on, we could do it whilst we play it.
Ooh.
Are you talking about recording stuff while we're playing?
We could have the gameplay whilst we play it, and we can talk about what we like during it.
I like that. I like that.
There shouldn't be any news really from other stuff.
That might be difficult for audio only listeners to follow along with.
We could just describe exactly what we're doing. I'm opening the door. I'm walking through. I'm swinging my chainsaw. Gary's walking into a wall because he's got high ping because he's in the EU. He's back. Gary's back.
Yeah, we'll figure it out. We'll figure it out. We'll have a meeting right after this, maybe.
Yeah. We'll have like I said, while I'm on my trip, I can still meet for like a quick powwow, which I think we have plans anyway. So,
yeah.
Secret chat. You have no idea. Anyway, this is a great season.
I think it was quite good, this one.
Maybe our best.
Is it
maybe
our best? We keep topping ourselves every week. This is our best season yet.
Just when you think you've like climbed to the top of the mountain, we managed to find another bit under the clouds. It's like, we can go higher.
We haven't peaked yet.
No. Will we ever peak?
I don't think we ever will.
It's exciting. Tune in next week or not next week, the week up. Tune
in next season. We literally just announced we're taking next week off, Gary. But
tune in. Get them excited for our best season yet
to see if we have peaked.
Yeah, which we won't have.
One day we'll see like comments of like, "Yeah, they've peaked."
Yeah, I remember when this podcast used to be good. Bring back the food debates.
Spine Chill.
Yeah. Bring back the food debates. Bring back Gary's ukulele.
It's right there. I can get it out anytime.
That won't be necessary. Thank you, everybody, for joining in. We had a great season. I'm one of your co-hosts, John Wolfe, here with my other co-host, Gary the Hot Cross.
Thank you.
And we'd like to thank, once again, our 30-time recurring guest, Doug Running Man, for joining us.
Yay!
Thank you for having me.
I feel like you could do more.
I want to make sure that you were going to say that because
I know.
Part of our
you
deal.
Let me know. You let me know in public. If I don't say thank you for having me every week, I'm out. So
yeah, we'll cancel the twits longer for now.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Exactly. Oh, thank you everybody for 1,000 followers on the Spine Chill Twitter.
Oh yes, of course. Well done, everybody. Yeah. Well done, everyone.
We did so good. Thank you. And once again, there's a Discord invite in the description if you're interested in joining. We've got a community going on over there. So
yeah, it's actually really interesting to see everyone's thoughts about various asymmetrical games.
Yeah, anything except food, I'm eager to hear their thoughts on.
You know, it's going to just be nothing but food comments now.
Yeah,
you just did it to yourself.
Can we make a food section?
No, that's a terrible idea.
Why not?
We can.
Just create chaos in there.
John,
I could mute that channel.
Oh,
yeah.
I do like if people post their food. That's one of my favorite things. In my Discord, people always put pictures of what they're cooking. Oh, brings me such joy.
Wow,
I love
that.
That
could be the Gary Food channel. Gary Food. All right. Thank you for tuning in. We'll see you not next week, but the week after. Bye.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Hugs and kisses.
Hugs and kisses.
No.
You said it last week.